What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. And for today's video, we are going to take a look at the performance review of the Westbrook 0.6. Alright, so starting off with the overall aesthetics of the shoe, I just wanted to cover this before I got into the overall performance. Now, usually I love basketball shoes that have zippers, and obviously these have a zipper here on the Westbrook 0.6. But I think that there's just so much going on with this basketball shoe with the design cues, this kind of translucent upper, the zipper, in my opinion, almost being pointless because it runs like 2 inches long, and then the outsole is just crazy. So it's not to say I don't like this shoe, but I think the colorway that I really wanted was the orange one, but they did not drop here in Canada, so I did opt to get this kind of Oreo colorway. But the overall aesthetics on this shoe are very striking, something that we've come to know on most of Westbrook's basketball shoes. So as far as the traction goes on the Jordan Westbrook 0.6, you do have this multi-directional traction pattern as you see right here. There's a ton going on. Now right in the middle here where it kind of zigzags down, you do have a herringbone traction pattern. And then on either side of that and at the heel, you do have these tiny little nubs. And right off the bat, I was pretty concerned because I remember playing in the Kobe NXT 360s and those nubs wore away very quickly. There's a little bit of kind of wearing away right here, but nothing crazy for about 12 to 14 hours of play in these so far. Now, how these perform on court, on hard lateral cuts, I didn't have a ton of issues, but on forward motions, I did slip out a couple of times. That was on dirty floors though, so if you're gonna play on dirty floors in this setup, I would say wipe every 2 or 3 plays and you should be covered. Another thing I wanna mention about this outsole is it is fully decoupled, so the forefoot and the heel are independent of each other, so it does offer some nice flexibility here. But as far as the traction goes on the Westbrook 0.6, I'm gonna have to give these a 7.5 out of 10. Now, as far as the cushioning goes on the Westbrook 0.6, at the back of the shoe, you have this midsole here. It's pretty chunky as you can see right here. And this is just a standard file-on midsole. So really nothing special at the heel. It offers a bit of springiness, but I do think that'll break down pretty quick over time. Now, where all the magic happens as far as the cushioning goes in this shoe is in the forefoot. So there is a pretty chunky forefoot zoom airbag, and directly underfoot it feels very nice. It offers a very nice springy impact protection while still maintaining that close to the floor feeling. So if you play a lot on your forefoot, I do think you will enjoy the setup here on the Westbrook 0.6. But if you like some impact protection at the back of the shoe, it just honestly feels a little bit dead, but the overall heel to toe transition is very nice because the file-on in the heel is pretty soft, and then having that springy zoom bag up front, it offers some really nice impact protection. For me, I know a lot of basketball shoes coming in at around that 160 price point Canadian. You're not gonna get that full length cushioning setup unless you're Zion, because Zion's cushioning setups have been pretty crazy thus far. But here on the Westbrook 0.6, the main cushioning setup you're gonna have is that big oversized zoom bag here in the forefoot. So as far as the cushioning goes for the Westbrook 0.6, I would have to give these a 7 out of 10. So as far as the fit goes on the Jordan Westbrook 0.6, I would say go true to size because I went with my usual size 10.5, and I have about a thumb's width here at the end of the shoe, a little bit more than I usually like, but it provided great lockdown within this shoe. Now, if you're a wide footer, this upper it conforms to your foot very nice in my opinion. So I think you should stick true to size because I think it might just get too long if you go up half a size if you're a wide footer. But my recommendation, as always, try them on in store if you can. I haven't seen these in store in Canada yet, as I did order this pair from Nike.ca. But as far as the fit goes in these guys, I really enjoyed the setup. And when you pull this closed here, this zipper, it does kind of wrap around your foot pretty nice. So as far as the fit goes on the Jordan Westbrook 0.6, I would have to give them an 8 out of 10. As far as the materials go here on the Westbrook 0.6, starting at the back of the shoe, you do have this felt-like material. It's almost like a synthetic nubuck wrapping around the back of the shoe. And then right here on the medial side, It's almost like a foam here that's perforated for breathability. Again, really nothing special, but it does hug your foot nicely and it does feel very nice on foot. Right here, wrapping around the zipper, you do have almost like some fuse overlays. It's a synthetic material that wraps all the way up the zipper. And then at the toe, you actually have a decent nubuck or suede portion here at the toe. And then the whole upper of the shoe that wraps around your foot is like a screen mesh, and it is kind of like a transparent screen mesh because you can see those white lace loops underneath it. Overall, it's a pretty cheap setup. It's really nothing special at all. I think these retailed for $160 here in Canada, and I think around $130 in the US. So you're kind of getting what you're paying for, but honestly, I would just wait for this model to go on sale because the materials are really nothing special. And I think at a lower price point, this shoe would sell pretty good. But as far as the materials go on these guys, if you guys have played in them, let me know what you guys think of them. For me, it's really nothing special, so I'm gonna have to give the materials a 6.5. And just one last thing I wanted to cover as far as the materials go, you do have this transparent kind of screen mesh here, and then under that screen mesh, it's basically just all kind of like a breathable mesh material. So these don't get overly hot in my opinion, so if you need a shoe that's pretty breathable, look no further because the Jordan Westbrook 0.6 is a pretty breathable shoe in my opinion. Not to mention on the medial side here, on that Russell Westbrook logo, you do have a ton of perforations as well. So as far as the weight goes on the Jordan Westbrook 0.6, like I mentioned, this is a US size 10.5, and these do come in at 14.75 ounces, so nothing extremely light, but on foot it actually feels like a pretty lightweight overall package on foot. So as far as the support goes in this shoe, I know I've seen a few videos where some people were saying it's just not that good, but in my experience, I really had no issues. So starting at the back of the shoe, you do have an internal heel counter which is very rigid and keeps your heel locked in at the back of the shoe. And then this midsole kind of zigzags up and down, so your foot is actually sitting ever so slightly within this midsole. So on hard lateral cuts, that midsole is actually helping aid your foot, keeping it on the footbed. And then underneath this shroud upper, let's see if I can show you guys here, but there is these eyelets that run up the side of the shoe. So if you really crank these laces down very tight with underneath this shroud, you're really not going to have any issues because those eyelets act as kind of support cables on the lateral, and on the medial side you have some more here as well. So it's really going to harness your foot inside this shoe and keep it on the footbed. And not to mention at the bottom of the shoe, it is a very wide and stable base here at the forefoot, and the heel is actually pretty chunky as well. Here on the midfoot here at the bottom of the outsole, you do have this TPU support plate, which does offer some pretty good torsional rigidity right here under your arch. But like I mentioned before, this shoe is completely decoupled right here, and it's only foam running around this plate. So it still offers some really good flexibility while maintaining that support where you need it directly under your arch. So overall, I think this package is pretty nice as far as the support features go. I didn't even lace them up all the way. I had them at the second eyelet here, and I had really no issues with my foot spilling over the side of the shoe or just not feeling supportive. And kind of the last supportive feature on the shoe is this zipper here. Once you zip that up, this whole shoe, this shroud really hugs your foot nicely. And something that I've never seen on a zippered basketball shoe before is this little plastic tab right here. So once you zip the shoe up, you have a little elastic band, and you feed it through that guy there. And what that does is just keep this zipper zipped up, because I know some of the old shoes of the past, like the Answer 4s and the Flight Posits and such, the zipper over time while you're playing slides down. But here with this little tab here, it's going to keep it all locked in and in place. But like I mentioned, I think this zipper is kind of useless. It runs like 2 to 3 inches long. And then all of this portion that looks like a zipper here just says "why not" one way, and then it flips around the other way kind of all the way throughout. So some pretty cool design cues, but let me know down in the comments what you guys think of the Westbrook 0.6. So that's going to do it for today's performance review on the Jordan Westbrook 0.6. If you're looking for a shoe that has decent traction and you like that cushion up front with the Zoom airbag here at the front of the shoe but nothing at the back, and a shoe that offers some pretty good support features in a decently lightweight package, I would say look no further. But for me, I would really only recommend picking this shoe up on sale at like that 30 to 40% off price point, because I think at the retail price point, there's a ton of shoes out there that just offer a better overall package. But if you guys have played in these, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and let me know what you guys think of the overall aesthetics of this shoe. Do you guys like it? Do you hate it? Again, for me, it's kind of like a Frankenstein design with the crazy transparent upper, the zipper, and this really chunky midsole and outsole. I'm not too mad at it. Like I said, my favorite colorway of this model is the orange one, but unfortunately we did not get that here in Canada. As always, stick around for the end of the video of me playing in the Westbrook 0.6, and check out my Instagram over at 23mj88, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, nostalgia as a whole. Thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.